I'm just gonna.
Oh, you all right? That's a nice coat.
Thank you.
Yo, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s got to work on that old ice cooler throw because that poor woman got drenched. And I think my favorite part about this clip is Matt Chapman just not knowing what to do. So he says, that's a nice coat. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. Shohei Ohtani nearly ripped the cover off of baseball. He hit this one nearly 120 miles an hour. A rookie outfielder for the Diamondbacks might have felt the pressure of the bright lights in LA as he had an embarrassing moment. And speaking of embarrassing, the Cubs absolutely embarrassed the Pirates yesterday. So if you're a Pittsburgh fan, you might want to cover your eyes when we talk about them. Now, a quick reminder, if you're going to any baseball games or concerts anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. And I just want to say shout out to all of you guys supporting these videos every single day, and especially a shout out to this person right here, Glow Montiel 2003, with a $50 super thanks. It really means the world to me. These videos are not easy to make, so thank you guys for rocking with me. And without further ado, we have to talk about a few off the field things. I mean, actually, I should say one thing. Nestor Cortes was kind of canceled on social media, had to deactivate his Twitter because old tweets surfaced, but I don't think that the Yankees are going to discipline him, and I mean, they're not going to release him. A lot of people are saying, free Nestor Cortes, he didn't do anything wrong. Nestor came out and apologized, and he hopes to be back on social media soon, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys to let me know in the comment section down below. Do you feel like this is a big deal, or do you think that cancel culture is just weird, and they kind of waited for Nestor to be at the top of his game for them to release these tweets? But let me know. Now, staying with the Yankees, let's go ahead and talk about their game against the Orioles yesterday. Giancarlo Stanton hit a screamer RBI double off of Kyle Bradish, and the Yankees got a few base runners on for Jose Trevino. And my goodness, he connects. That is his first as a member of the Yankees. Just the cherry on top if they can get this guy going, of all people, because he's one of the better defenders as a catcher in baseball, especially with his framing. So if they can get a home run or two out of him every so often, that's, again, a cherry on top. Luis Severino allowed one earned run and one hit on a single swing from Anthony Santander, but was untouchable aside from that. 7 strikeouts, 1 hit in those 6 innings, and then Josh Donaldson goes yard. And oh yeah, there's another one. Back-to-back home runs from Josh Donaldson and Anthony Rizzo. This Yankees team is absolutely frightening. I know it was against the Orioles, but they have 3 guys with 10 plus home runs, and they are top 4 in runs scored, and they're number 1 in all of Major League Baseball at not allowing runs as a pitching staff. So that is the Yankees game in a nutshell. By the way, Anthony Santander, he hit his second home run of the game later on. He now has 6 home runs and a very solid 128 OPS plus. Is he going to get traded? I feel like he could be on the block come about the trade deadline season. Bo Bichette's swing is so beautiful. It almost brings a tear to my eye just watching his barrel get through the zone, the way that he finishes with one hand, and then the hair, he's got everything going. He is such a cool baseball player. So that's his 4th home run, and then Matt Chapman later connects for his 6th. He's been decent with 16 RBIs and solid defense, but he has an abysmal 266 on base percentage. I'm not hating, by the way. I just like providing updates on guys that are on new teams in 2022. Yusei Kikuchi is a guy that's on a new team. He had a near 6 ERA in the month of April, but he's sitting at a 1.56 ERA in the month of May after another brilliant start. He got some help from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over at first base with a snow cone kind of over the shoulder catch in foul territory. Raimel Tapia, he hasn't been very good, but he does deliver here. That's a clutch 2-run single, and then Kirk and Bichette do much of the same, bring in their run total to 6, and then Adam Simber has to come in and put out a little bit of a fire. He has to have some damage control in the 9th inning. He gets 2 outs for his 2nd save, and the Jays beat the Mariners 6-2. The Red Sox and the Astros, Alex Verdugo grabs an RBI on a blooper that wasn't a base hit, was called a fielder's choice. Chaz can't get to this one, but he can get all of this one. So we now have a tie ball game when something awful happened. Jake Odorizzi has been locked in as of late. He had 1 earned run over his last 16-ish innings, pitching the best he ever has, and he collapsed while attempting to cover first base. And I'm not going to zoom in on it because when I zoomed in, I figured out what actually happened. I thought it was Achilles, but I think it's an ankle injury. It buckled, but again, I'm not going to show that. Hopefully he recovers quickly and he can get back out there before the playoffs. We fast forward to the 7th, where it's a 2-2 ball game, and Altuve clutches up. He goes up the middle for an RBI single, only to have Trevor Story grab that run back, a 430-foot moonshot, his 2nd home run as a member of the Boston Red Sox. Boston separates even more in the 8th. JD doubles in Hernandez, and Xander delivers for the chance. The Boston fan base was saying, re-sign Xander, and then he does that. And then Hansel Robles comes in and secures his 2nd save, and that, in my opinion, was the biggest win of the year for the Boston Red Sox. Now, we're going to talk about the Astros real quick because 2 super thanks wanted me to call out Alex Bregman. So here's one of them, and then here's The second one, Alex Bregman, I mean, he's still having a good season, but he's hitting 227 over the last 2 weeks, so he's got to pick it up a little bit. The Giants versus the Rockies. This was the Kirk Casale experience, and I feel like this only happened because Antonio Sensatella had to leave the game with an injury. So Kirk Casale takes advantage of the lefty-righty matchup. Ty Black gives up 2 home runs. They both go 415 plus feet. The Rockies end up tying it up at 4 runs apiece in the bottom of the 6th, courtesy of Ryan McMahon, only to have their defense give it away in the 7th. One scores on an error, another scores on a sac fly from Yaz. But Yastrzemski wasn't done. He comes up after another bullpen implosion. Milo Duvall was actually good yesterday. He nails down his 6th save, and they hand the Rockies an L, and they send them to under 500. I told you guys that the Rockies were cool and fun, but they're probably not going to finish the season above 500. The Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Tony Gonsolin has been so good and so underrated to begin his career, but this was a not so good pitch to Christian Walker. Madison Bumgarner was on the bump for the Diamondbacks, and he was solid until he allows a few to get on in the 5th, and rookie outfielder Alec Thomas, he's usually pretty sure-handed. I'm talking about his minor league days. I've watched him a lot. He is really good as an overall baseball player. Maybe the bright lights of LA got to him, and the game ends up tied at 2 apiece. Then Freddie shows off the perfect approach. He goes the other way for an RBI double, and heading into the 6th, Chris Taylor follows that same other way approach. He belts a 2-run ding-dong, and Craig Kimbrell comes in with a 3-run lead. Now it's no longer a 3-run lead because David Peralta punches a 2-run shot, but luckily for LA fans, Craig Kimbrell was able to settle down and he gets the job done. They win by just a single run. Speaking of 1-run ball games, we have the Tigers versus the Rays. Alex Faedo has been impressive in his first 2 starts. He doesn't throw 98, but he is crafty enough to miss bats. Kluber was dealing as well, but he got lit up by Jonathan Scope in the 4th. So Kluber leaves after 6 pretty solid innings, 8 strikeouts, no walks, and the Rays tried to get him some last-minute run support with a Brett Phillips home run. Look at the celebration. Brett Phillips is so much fun to watch. He is a national treasure. Anyways, Wander Franco lifts a sac fly in the 8th to bring it to a tie ball game. So who is going to be the hero? Well, apparently Harold Castro says, "It's me." He pimps the heck out of this no-doubter, and I'm sure the Tigers fans were nervous about Gregory Soto coming in, but he converts it. And don't look now, but the Tigers are on a 4-game winning streak, and I tried to warn you guys the Tigers were just playing awful. They're a good baseball team, a solid core of players, and once Spencer Torkelson gets hot and their other players, and once Casey Mize comes back from injury, I feel like the Tigers can end up being a top 15 team by the end of the year. The Marlins and the Nationals. Avi, Mr. Garcia jumps on this pitch for his 3rd home run, and he's finally looking like the Avisail Garcia that Miami signed up for before giving him a ton of money. Eric Gonzalez takes advantage of 2 runners being on, driving them both home in the same inning as Avi hitting that home run, and then Jazz caps off that 4-run second with a single to left. He's still hitting above 300 with 25 RBIs, so he has been so good this year. We fast forward to the 7th where the Nationals forget how to play baseball just out of nowhere. They throw the ball around and 3 runs end up scoring, and Garcia knocks home Jorge Soler to give Sandy Alcantara a 7-run cushion. So is Sandy going to be able to? Of course he can. That's another 8-inning performance. He lowers his season ERA to 2.49. He leads Major League Baseball in innings pitched, and in this game, he actually at one point set down 20 hitters in a row. He wasn't happy that he was taken out. I mean, you're up by 1,000,000 runs. Let him go out and pitch the 9th inning, but Anthony Bass comes in, and he finishes it as the Marlins win 8-2. The Rangers and the Angels, like I mentioned in the intro, Shohei, I thought he hit this baseball 200 miles an hour. It was a crisp 117 miles an hour off the bat. Brandon Marsh doubles in 2 more, so the Rangers have a tall task. They're already losing, and they're facing Thor. Seager rips an RBI single, and then Garcia and Calhoun team up for the 2nd consecutive game. They bring it to an even tie. Syndergaard is going to try and get out of it, but unfortunately he can't, as Jonah Heim reaches on an error by first baseman Jared Walsh. So now it's 4-3, and real quick, it's 6-4 after Eli White singles in a few more. Thor, Noah Syndergaard leaves after just 2/3 of an inning with 4 earned runs, 4 hits, 2 walks. It's just not good. His ERA jumped to nearly 3.6. Jonah Heim has been sneaky good all year, belting his 4th home run and raising his OPS plus to 163. Remember, he recently became a father, and dad strength is real. It is 100% science. I promise you, it's my source is me. Moving on over to the White Sox versus the Royals. Andrew Vaughn brings home the first run of the game on a sac fly, and Yasmani Grandal bodied this baseball. It only went 382 feet, but he smoked it, a 2-run shot. Now, raise your hand if you knew that Johnny Johnny Cueto was on the White Sox because I forgot that until I saw him starting yesterday. Either way, he showed up. Johnny Cueto tossed 6 shutout innings, striking out 7 Royals along the way and only allowed 2 base hits. If he's even average, he's going to be a massive help for the injury-plagued Chicago White Sox. The unfortunate part about this game is that the White Sox bullpen imploded again. The Royals tied up with 3 runs off of Kendall Graveman, but Lou Bob, he must have been happy about that because he gets another crack at it and he comes through. He's having some fun. In his first 150 games, these are his stats. He has been an absolute monster when healthy. So La Pantera, he is legit, folks. The Twins versus the A's. Jorge Polanco goes up the middle to score Royce Lewis, and then Elvis Andrus doubles in Seth Brown as both teams kind of trade RBIs. Byron Buxton immediately answers in the next frame, stealing the lead back, and oh my goodness, El Kraken got all of this one. 435 feet from El Gary. 10 doubles, 3 home runs, and 13 RBIs with the 115 OPS plus. That's not too shabby for the former Yankee. And that was about it. Duffy had a 1-2-3 ninth inning. The Twins now sit at 21-15, and they have a 3-game lead over the White Sox, and they have the best run differential in the AL Central. The Brewers and the Braves. DJ Peterson uses the quick reflexes to steal a hit from Travis d'Arnaud. He helps out his pitcher, Freddie Peralta. Freddie was going up against the scuffling Ian Anderson, who returned to form yesterday. Ian tosses 5 strong innings, but he allows 1 run to score on a pass ball in the 6th. Hunter Renfroe comes through, he touches home, and Freddie Peralta was able to do Freddie Peralta things. 10 punch outs and 7 shutout innings, only allowed 1 walk on 2 base hits, and that's the Freddie Peralta specialty, limiting base hits. Over his last 210-ish innings, he has a 5.7 hits per 9 and an insane 12.5 strikeouts per 9 just to show off. Freddie does leave the game after 102 pitches, so Devin Williams and Josh Hader come in and they close it out in some of the most epic fashion I've ever seen. 6 up, 6 down. All of the last 6 outs were via the strikeout. Devin strikes out the side, and same with Josh Hader. Josh Hader now has 14 saves, and listen to these stats. Over his last 72 innings for the last 2 seasons, he has a 1 ERA and a whopping 123 strikeouts in those 72 innings. One of the greatest relief pitchers that we've ever seen. And last but not least, remember we talked about the Cubs embarrassed the Pirates. Okay. Look away, Pirates fans. Chicago spanked the poor Pirates in the first inning. I mean, every single hitter came up. Rafael Ortega eventually came up with the bases loaded. He took a walk, so it's 4-0. When Wilson Contreras, he steps in, he digs in, and he unloads on this pitch a grand slam. Over his last 157 games, Wilson has 27 doubles, 26 home runs, a 120-ish OPS plus. He's often forgotten in the top catcher talk, but he is definitely in that conversation. And I really feel like the Cubs should just open up their checkbook and extend this man as soon as possible. Do not let him get away. Wade Miley says, thanks for the offense, guys. I'm going to reward you with 7 shutout innings. He does not walk anyone and strikes out 6. And that's really not much else to talk about. Both of these 2 teams are building for the future. 22 is about development, so maybe it was embarrassing for some Pirates fans, but maybe others are like, hey, this is going to happen. Well, that is going to do it for today's recap. Again, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate the super thanks and all of the love just in general. Baseball brings us all together, and these videos are the highlight of my day. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me, and enjoy the web gems from yesterday.
Moore charging. Dylan Moore lays out, and Dylan Moore makes the catch. What a play.
Red Sox last year in that ALCS did a really good job on him. A diving play. Story for the knee. Got him.
Awesome play. Awesome play right here. I mean, this is Dewar.
That one is looped and caught by Torres. He's going to turn it into a double play.
That's to left. And Gordon picks it off his shoe tops. Nick Gordon with a nice play of a sinking line drive.